All right, guys, so Charles Oliveira's fight for Rio has been canceled. Now, hear me out. I don't believe that Charles's participation is off the table. It's just that his fight has been canceled. We deal with this every single week, but what do? Now, according to Charles, a lot of guys have already been called and offered that spot, and a lot of guys are saying no. And he's even gone as far as to say, hey, don't listen to the media. Don't listen to what these guys are saying in the media pretending that they want this fight. They don't. I believe Charles. I completely believe Charles. Now, I want to try to solve this problem. I want to make a push in whatever way that I can. But the answer to this riddle is Money Moicano. Now, Charles Oliveira is one of the greats. I was late to the party, but I've admitted it. I was wrong. He's awesome. He looked awesome in his last fight, of which he lost in the first round. He still looked good. He lost the fight by walking out and playing Ilya's game, and he wasn't scared to play it. Okay, I'm just sharing for you, like, Charles is awesome. Now, Charles was awesome for a long time. He just didn't get his due. There was people like me that didn't see it. There was better eyes in the room. People like you that did. But the story of Charles Oliveira does not exist. The story of Charles Oliveira, one of the top fighters ever, the story of Charles Oliveira taking on Islam for the World Championship, the story of Charles Oliveira being stripped at the scale against Justin Gaethje, the story of Charles Oliveira, the multimillionaire, the story of Charles Oliveira, the UFC star, does not happen without Tony Ferguson giving him an opportunity. Charles was really good, and he had really good skills. And he had some ups, and he had some downs, and he fought at this weight class, and he fought at that weight class, and you guys were on board, and his stock was rising. But there was 5 killers at 155 pounds, and they were all stars. They were big stars. They were main eventers. They were highly paid. They were front page guys. And you needed a guy like Charles Oliveira that could get on the docket with one of them, and none of them allowed him the opportunity. They all got up in the loft and they all pulled the ladder up behind him. And the only one that was up in the loft that dropped the ladder down was Tony Ferguson. And it was a very hard draw. And if you guys happen to remember that, I remember that fight so clearly. Because Charles did the only thing that we were sure he couldn't do. He might be able to outstrike Tony. He might be able to out-hustle him. Like, these are guesses. He's got this jiu-jitsu thing going, and he's a black belt, and Tony's a black belt. But we were sure that Tony could out-wrestle him. And that was the story of the 3 rounds. Every round there was a takedown, and every round it was Charles Oliveira. And that's where we all had to stand back and go, whoa. This guy's not just top 5. This guy could be the champion of the world. Now, getting those 5 guys at that period of time to give an opportunity was hard to do. But I am extremely confident when I tell you that Charles will give that opportunity to Moicano. And I think it's a really relevant part of this. Like when Charles says, I want to be on the Rio card, when he says, my fight has been disrupted, when he said the UFC is making phone calls, I believe all of those things to be true, but I believe that Charles Oliveira does not care who his opponent is. And not because he comes from an era, I'm just so confident I can take on anybody. I believe he really wants to compete on this card. I believe he understands the risks that come with this sport. I believe he's holding on to the torch, but he's well aware that passing of the torch is a part of this business. And I just think it solves the problems. Money Moicano versus Charles Oliveira, 155 pounds, unified rules, in Rio. If there's a better matchup, tell me what it is, but don't forget, Charles has already said the likely matchups and the likely names have all said no, quietly. I heard from Money Moicano this morning. And I believe him when he says he would like that fight.